Hi, beautiful Aries. This is Mary Ellen, coming to you once again from Moonrise Cottage for your April 2018 Soul Tarot reading. I am starting with the photograph of this beautiful butterfly because I want to remember to just take a moment to thank this creature and tell you the story, in case you don't know, of something truly magical that happened here at Moonrise Cottage. So that little butterfly flew into my house a couple weeks ago. Hi, everyone. It's been a raging winter here in the Northeast of the United States. I'm sure, all you folks, you've heard about the types of storms that have been coming through here because of a disturbance in the jet stream and etc. There was a day, maybe 2 days, where all of a sudden it got really clear. The sun came out and it was, I don't know, between 50 and 70 degrees for a couple of days. And I went outside and sat on my deck just to breathe in the sunshine. When I came back in the house, this beautiful butterfly was sitting on my desk where I do the readings. I have no explanation for that. I did a live stream video. I chopped it down a little bit. It's on the playlist. You can go look at that. And you might want to skip forward, cut off the end part, etc. I'm doing some chat with the folks who were on the live stream. Given the messages that have come out for you since the beginning of the year, and really for all the signs and the things that are going on in my life here at Moonrise Cottage, all of us have been getting messages from Spirit about shift and change and transformation. And so imagine my shock when, sandwiched in between 3 major snowstorms, a butterfly shows up in the month of March in my house. Of course, because of who I am, I take it to mean there's another message from Spirit for us. So the live stream message came out about that, and your message is about the type of transformation that you've been undergoing, I believe, confirmed from Spirit. Just a little sign in a really beautiful, delicate way for all of us to understand the shift and change, the evolving, the emerging, and the moving forward into a new life in order to have the very special journey that is meant for us in 2018 to go forward. I believe it's just a gift and a beautiful confirmation for us all. I'm going to toggle over into the cards for March. We're going to do a little bit of a review. I just wanted you to sort of have this notion in your head while we review. And for those of you who don't know, I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck developed by Caitlin Matthews. And thanks, everyone, all the returning viewers and subscribers. Thanks so much for all your support. And to anyone who's new, welcome. So let's jump in. Let's take a look at what was going on in March, just before the butterfly arrived here. If you look at the center row of the reading, that's the core, in a sense. And so we have the beautiful mingler of energy, that beautiful goddess that holds a vessel in her hands. She is the second card in from the right. That's the Spirit message that came over the top of the reading. And basically, Spirit talking a lot about the energy from the spirit realm is working very hard on your behalf to mingle all the energy, all the things that you are working on in order to bring a transformation. The card to the left of the beautiful mingler of energy is the woman of skill who holds the spool of destiny in her hands. That is the card that indicates you in the reading, what your journey is going to be about, how you stand in the light under the message and the theme of the mingler of energy. So clearly, Spirit assisting you very strongly, wanting us all to know that we are being seen, we are being assisted, and we now have the power within us to begin to weave the destiny as meant for us, and as I've been saying, as Spirit has been saying to me, through 2018. And then if you look at the bottom row, the first step in your human walk is about renewal, the renewal of your devotion, the ability to have a sacred healing in order to increase your compassion and your awareness of all beings who are on this journey. Having come through this beautiful blessing, the next card is the beautiful warrior of skill, who stands awaiting sacred impulse to come to him. And he has the power and the means to go straight into the impulse. That's his job, so to speak. Next to that is the beautiful augury of art, a prophecy about the beginning of happiness, about the ability of manifestation, about being able to stand on this shore in front of this body of water, signifying love and abundance, happiness. Spirit's talking about the cycle of the water element moving between heaven and earth. And so in this way, on your human walk, you have continued to experience this transformation. And having come into this augury, this prophecy about the beginning of something very profound, the bridge card on the far left center row is the dialogue of art. And Spirit is talking about the joining of the yin-yang and the cycles of the moon. That's been coming up a lot. And the ability to utilize the energy that you've come into to have a sacred dialogue about the art, about this augury. So, it's a fairly rapid transition and transformation. The messages that were coming through to me had to do with the first part of the year, the first quarter of this year, being about finishing and solidifying the transitions that began through all the portals and all the shift and change of 2017, and having come through the solstice, messages that came in that time, and then beginning to solidify the new place into which you emerge and evolve. So a prophecy, and then right after the prophecy, the next stage, if you will, is to have the sacred artful dialogue and to use the power that comes from the apertures of the phases of the moon, and particularly the full moon. In March, we have two. The second one is coming on the 31st. On the spirit realm, the top row of cards has everything to do with being in partnership in a very skillful way, a new way, in order to go forward. That partnership, obviously reflecting what is happening in your human life, the shift and change that you have experienced, and the prophecy that came forward creates the ability for your soul journey to continue its work. Standing next to that, we have the judgment of art. It's very interesting to me the way the cards come out. And so you are in a place in March where there is realization about what works and what doesn't. And I think I said this last month. This is the third notation of a vessel, a sacred vessel. Standing next to the beautiful courtship of skill. Ushering in the understanding on a soul level that which is not working, that which has served us up to this moment falls away. And if you look at the center column, we see the warrior of impulse, the warrior of skill, who responds to sacred impulse. That energy rising through your human transition, your healing, the renewal of your devotion, joining with the sacred energy in a yin-yang way of the woman of skill, whose job it is to wind the threads of your own destiny. And the alignment of these three cards with the spirit card on the top about the judgment of art, the artful way of being, and allowing that which no longer serves us to fall away, and having had that moment of quiet to understand where the strength in your position exists. It ushers in this notion of having a new foundation, the foundation of battle. indicates a warrior who has come through a rite of passage, assisted by the spirit realm, renewed and strengthened in order to go forward and have the walk, so to speak, and the battle, so to speak, Spirit says, transformed. A place of strength, of renewal. The last card, the outcome card, is the soul. And so, Spirit's saying the cap on the reading is to help you understand that this is a new phase that your soul enters on its journey. Incredibly beautiful. Going forward, having had this awakening at the spine, the soul rises, goes through a portal, and walks out into the sacred bowl in order to turn the spiral of destiny. This month, in the month of April, we see the continuation of that discussion. There are the cards. So I'm going to toggle back and forth once or twice, Spirit's telling me. So just take a look at the photographs, so to speak, the illustrations, Spirit's saying, and think about what was being discussed in March. And think about the transition and the fact that the outcome card was about a new soul journey. So the very first card, the spirit card, if you will, that comes out over the top of this reading, giving us the light and the theme, there's the new soul journey. Cycling back, Spirit says, reflecting your life, bringing a brand new life through the beautiful portal of the sacred feminine, through which souls arrive into this realm and take shape here for a journey. Aligned with the sacred realm, that's what the ravens are about. Spirit's talking to me about crow medicine. That's about spirit messages from the spirit realm and right livelihood, things like that. So the beautiful woman of skill, one of the things I always like to point out is that in her garment, she has 2 horses and holds the key, of course, to a new life. This is about moving forward with a lot of power. The light and the theme that comes through this, based on what happened last month, shift and change in a very profound way. And the butterfly showed up here just before I started doing the monthly readings. It was in my house for about 2 weeks. There was a snowstorm that raged through that time. I did my best to take care of her, nurture her, keep her alive, try to hear the messages that were coming. And then I did the reading, and the next day she passed on, and it was done. So it was really clear to me that part of the message was, it's time to pay attention to the transformation because it's complete. We've done it. We've reached that goal. So who knows the mystery of a butterfly, migrator, that's interesting. Spirit's talking about transmitting. I was going to say being transported across the country somehow, maybe on the winds of the storms. I don't know. I will never know. But I know with clarity that it was to really drive home and help us understand this message. So, next to the beautiful Queen of Skill, we see the Judgment of Skill. Accompanying each other, this card has come out 2 or 3 times in the readings already. There's a theme. So the theme has changed all of a sudden. There's a confirmation of the transformation and the next step going forward into 2018. The thing I love about this is there's a notation of having come to a place of rest in a sense, right? Coming out of the cocoon. Spirit has been saying to me, that's the butterfly in human form. Coming to this beautiful place. And last month we had the augury. I'm going to transition back one more time. The augury of art. The art of being able to manifest and pull forward from the sacred bowl that which is meant to arrive. And that card on the bottom right of the human realm is very profound. It is about a metamorphosis that you have been undergoing, and that metamorphosis has come to completion because of the impulse that is reflected on your soul journey as you walk here as a human being. Now, with that metamorphosis complete, there is time. Through the month of April, there will be movement and shift and change, very powerful for you, Aries. In the first part of the month, as the full moon passes overhead, take some time to understand the nature of your transition, the nature of your transformation, the beauty of the butterfly energy. Her shoes are blue. Her walk has been transformed. And you know, back in February, we had the King of Skill, who was making the new shoes for a new journey in order to prepare to walk forward. So for me, the beauty of this is very deep. And I get a little choked up when the energy comes in a really, really strong way. Spirit is urging me to sort of touch on some of those things in order to help you understand the realness, Spirit says. This is a real transition that's been coming, and we are ready. And Spirit's been talking also about Pluto a little bit. So, again, a little review, and then a little more discussion about this, okay? Dressed in your passion, your vessel is full. You sit in a beautiful place where there is more abundance because of the augury of art that came last month. You've arrived. It's incredibly beautiful. And in this place, you just review. Where have I been? What were those battles like on the human realm? What is it that my soul desires? How can I assist the unfolding of that as I prepare with a full vessel to walk forward in a new way, having been transformed? Now, in the next card, we see another reflection, Spirit says, of that idea. That is the beautiful counselor of truth. It's a major arcana card. The first card on the human walk, a major arcana, a lot of power. Standing in the light of the sun. And, you know, interestingly, it looks like spring or summer. A lot of pink energy, newness, vibrancy. Being aligned, Spirit says, with the ancients. And you know, it's interesting. Sometimes the channeled messages, the card is an illustration for my spirit guides to use to drive the conversation forward. This is about becoming the touchstone of truth in your own life, about your soul journey and your human endeavors going forward in a way that's very solid and very quiet and very strong in order to walk forward in this way. So as you walk into the active phase of 2018, this is the place that you inhabit inside your being, Spirit says, okay? This, in the traditional tarot, would be the Hermit card. Notation about somebody who has a lot of life experience, who is able to separate themselves from the noise. You know what Spirit's talking about? There's a really famous poem, and it's about being able to walk aside from the noise and go forward with clarity. Desiderata, that's what it is. It took me a minute to remember. So I can almost hear that being recited in the background by my spirit guides, and with a lot of heartfelt emotion. So as you step out into April, understand yourself. Understand the truth that resides within you, that which you know and that which you feel in your being, because your human life is a reflection of your soul journey. Okay? So the very next card, interestingly enough, is the beautiful Rememberer. Spirit saying, you know, the perfect movement. First, you come to a touchstone of understanding about your reality, the totality of your being, which includes your human life and your soul journey. So a major arcana card following a major arcana card. The Rememberer of Lore takes the sacred lore and brings it into a central position in his own life. He has gone through a lot of study, a lot of shift and change, a lot of preparation. and he comes to a place where he is able to receive and transmit the sacred knowledge into and from his being. And we see the beautiful harp, sort of indicating vibrational energy. And so, part of what's been coming out for the last couple of months is the notion of our real ability, proven by science, now I think a couple months ago, that our brains actually do transmit energy and vibration. Okay, you know what? Spirit's been talking about the hive and herd mentality and things like that. So there's a long story about something magical that happened here while I was building this house that has to do with a hive. An entire hive of bees came here, like the butterfly, thankfully not inside the house. I'll tell that story. Maybe it'll be one of the next live streams, okay? Okay, so Spirit won't stop talking about it. Please understand as you go forward the importance of that point and what you think and what you desire. The fact that that really does go out and inform us. And I think it's because the other message that's been coming through is about the movement of Pluto and the fact that we have Pluto in the first house of Capricorn until 2023, I think. Shredding form, bringing upheaval. Look at the massive chaos that's going on. It doesn't matter to me what your sacred practice is, what your religion is, what your political affiliation is. We all can see that there is a massive amount of upheaval, and it has everything to do with the structure of power and human beings stepping forward and forcefully, in some ways, taking back their power in the face of abject chaos, because the power structures are not reflecting the movement of the individuals. And it is the movement of the individuals that changes the power structure. It's always that way. And we think it's the opposite. So there's a lot of chatter about that. And, I'm not here to talk about politics. Of course I care and I have my opinions. Spirit's saying, I don't care. It's not about that. Understand that you have more power in your being, inside of yourself, in this touchstone of truth. When you acknowledge that to yourself, you bring forward then, and you are able to understand the sacred lore that exists. And this is male energy. Okay, so we had 2 feminine cards starting off the reading, and now 2 male cards. I guess that's like this. All right, yin and yang, the movement of energy, and the impetus to go forward. So it's the sacred mother that helps souls come into this realm. And then we see alignment with this touchstone of truth, and the sacred male energy. In order to transmit the sacred lore that exists, because now we have the ability to feel it and to understand it, to receive that, and to be a transmitter just by walking through your life. Okay, next card. The beautiful adventure of skill. And it sits on the table aligned with this. Okay, let's see if I can do that. So Queen of Skill sits on top. Here you are. We're talking about transformation, complete transformation, and the beginning of a new life. And of course the Queen is here to usher that in. And sitting right below it on the table, we see that the purpose of that is a new adventure. I'm not surprised. Those of you who have been following along, you shouldn't be surprised. It's been coming through for months. It's been coming through. And the point of 2017, all that work, it was intense. If you haven't seen some of those videos, go check some of them out and you'll get it, Spirit says. All right, so here we are, ready for a new adventure. The adventure of skill. So we have the Queen of Skill, the Judgment of Skill, and the Adventure of Skill. That's the nature of the reading, is about your skill set on the human realm, having been transformed in order to come more closely into alignment with the soul journey that you're here to have. It's beautiful to me. And Aries, as a sacred warrior, with all that fiery energy, I love that the mouse is here. This is a very eager little bundle of energy. Bright, aware, awakened, ready to go forward, sitting in this grain, perhaps a little field of wheat or something, the notation, having everything it needs to go forward. And a little mouse can go anywhere it wants most of the time. It can climb up on things that you would never imagine, straight up the side of a building. It can slide through a little crack. Spirit's talking about consciousness, right? Last month, Spirit was talking about Kundalini energy because of the soul card was here. So what Spirit's talking with me now in my ear is about the nature of an awakening and the ability of your energy and your consciousness to go through the spot in the crown chakra that allows for this. That's where you're going. And it's on the human realm. So I would expect there's something very powerful coming. And one of my readers asked me about something called the event. I don't know anything about that, but when I did a little research, it has to do with this prophecy that there's going to be a sea change coming. No one knows when that's going to be. I'm not surprised to hear that people are pondering that because of the messages that are coming out in the cards. Spirit is here to tell us, my guides are here to tell us with certain clarity the transformation that will usher in the change that Pluto is helping us make because of all the upheaval and all the pushback against power structures in all the ways that we see it happening everywhere, not just here in the United States. I mean, we're having our own wild journey. Talk about an adventure. It's because it's time for all of those things that we co-create to be right in our face. So we have to face it, we have to discuss it, we have to decide what we're going to do, and we have the ability and the desire and the prophecy to do exactly that and create something new. So while it's rather uncomfortable, it's really exciting to me. The next card, the very next card, which is the bridge card, that ties your earthly journey to the soul journey that is happening, is a quest. So we have an adventure card, a skillful adventure, and then the next card on the far left in the very center row, that is the quest of art. That is salmon. It is about returning to the source. Okay? It's really interesting to me how these cards align and the way the energy rises through the reading. So in this way, we see you have arrived here. You've been transformed into a new place. Arriving here in a place of being a touchstone in your own life. The hermit, the seer, the one who is able to understand the deeper meaning of all existence. And having come into that understanding, the rememberer. Remembering the sacred lore that can only be accessed when you stand in that way, which brings you on a new adventure, a skillful adventure into a quest of art to return to the source and make a sacred discovery. So if you look at the quest of art, sitting right next to the judgment of skill, both of them water elements coming to the surface in the illustration. And last month, we had the augury of art on the bottom right hand. There was a prophecy and all the discussion that Spirit wanted to have to tell you about this new foundation on the spiritual realm and the soul journey that was going to bring to you. And here we are in the month of March, experiencing that playing out, if you will. In the month of April, I'm sorry. So, on the left-hand side, look at the column of cards. We see the Counselor of Truth and the energy from that place rising into this quest, this artful quest, sitting next to the Judgment of Skill. And above that, on the spirit realm, the first card is another major arcana card. That is the beautiful Keeper of Harmony. That is the quest that we are all on together. And for you, as a sacred warrior, Aries, I think this has come out before. beautiful, profound, powerful, sacred male energy. All the way along this left-hand column of cards, the keeper of harmony has come into this place where the strategy with which one moves forward is about bringing harmony into a central and stable position so that new growth can occur. And we see this beautiful piece of ancient jewelry that's called a torque. It's a very sacred encirclement, if you will, about the nature of harmony and the sacred soul journey that seeks to bring harmony here on the earth. And that's why all the chatter about Pluto and the upheaval that's happening. And, it's uncomfortable for all of us in a lot of ways. I listen to the news in the morning sometimes and I just think, oh my God. It's really interesting to watch people in leadership positions struggle so deeply and flounder. And that's how we know that Pluto is doing its work. And all the disagreement that comes on both sides of the aisle, Spirit says, it's meant to happen. So no matter what you think about that, Spirit says, just try to love it. Fill that upheaval with love energy, because you literally have the power to do it now. And allow that transition to play out as it will, because our souls are here in order to have that upheaval on a human realm, in order to bring the shift and change. So I do my best to have faith that things will be as they should. The Keeper of Harmony is here as the first notation on the spirit realm. That is very exciting to me. The Keeper of Harmony sits as the gateway, in a sense, to the journey that your soul is having. And if you look now at the center column of cards, on the human realm, we see the Rememberer of Lore, a major arcana card. And then, in the middle, your energy. So there's energy rising through this moment in which you sit with your new shoes made by the King of Skill a couple months ago, waiting for your transition, your evolution to come forward. And there you are. Spirit keeps talking about the butterfly. All right. So that card, the Dedicator of Lore, is there to help you understand the deepening of the energy and the ability that you are coming into, aligned on the human, directly aligned with your human walk. And that's why Spirit wants to sort of bring that into a central point in the discussion, if you will. So, obviously it's about a period of initiation, about some sacrifice, about submission to your life patterns, and having faith and integrity in your actions. Finding knowledge within. So we see the beautiful counselor of truth and the reflection of that on the spirit realm in these ways as the energy of your soul journey continues to develop and move forward, working directly with the transformation of what is happening here on the earth. So, the Dedicator of Lore makes a willing sacrifice to become one, if you will, to join with the sacred energy. So that is what is happening on the spiritual realm. We are spiritual initiates. Our souls are literally working on the transformation that Pluto is bringing in this time, Spirit says, in these days. And there are many, many, many people. Think of how many people are under the sign of Aries. It's not the only sign that's experiencing this. Each astrological sign experiences these things in the way that is correct for them. So the next card is about revelation. With this journey having been in this way, of course, making this transition, making a commitment, more is revealed to you. And I believe this card, the Revelation of Knowledge, was in the reading for February. I'm going to transition back so you can to show you the card. Look, there it is again. The last card in the spiritual realm. Again, a notation about a soul journey. And knowledge being revealed. And having had the stamina for this really long, really intense journey That's the notation of the elk. Transforming within a single lifetime. That's what that person did. And if you think back to the soul card that was the outcome for last month, we also see the figure of a human lying upon the ground, transforming, going on a soul journey. And this month, the outcome card is the beautiful dreamer of growth. Aries, I can't think of anything that would be more beautiful than the way the message has been continued, and the visitation of the butterfly, and all the things that are reflected here. The depth of the soul journey that we are on. And for those of you that don't know, I'm an Aries rising, right? So I'm a Virgo. I'm really shy in a certain way. I just want to be in my little cottage in the woods and listen to the birds and listen to the messages that come to me and have this place, right? That's where I live, in a sense, on the inside, because I'm a Virgo, right? On the outside, I am experiencing my own transition. It's what brings me to YouTube. So, having made the transition complete, the transformation and the evolution, a moment of literal genius, the ability to manifest, which is what the card on the human realm spoke to in this prophecy, the augury of art. That beautiful woman standing before a bowl of water, on the water, a cauldron on the water. The ability to look in to the sacred realm, to solidify the healing, and to begin to manifest destiny. It's quite beautiful. So there's the outcome for April. There you are, rooted very deeply into the sacred realm. That is the dreamer of growth. Able to see that which is meant to be revealed to you, because it follows that. Look. Spirit says that's no small potatoes, right? So as you go through the month of April, you're going to have a lot of profound intuition. You may have some astral travel. You may have prophetic dreams. You may see yourself in a very new light and understand your position as you stand on the earth. A soul working on both realms in order to bring destiny forward. Dreaming about the growth that we all would like to see in all these ways. So there's a lot of love coming through as I have this conversation and transmit these messages to the best of my little ability. There's an enormous amount of love energy streaming in through my heart chakra. I'm going to toggle back to the cards. I'm always eager to hear whatever your experiences are. So as you go through the month of April, if you feel so inclined, share some of that. If you have prophetic dreams, if you have moments of inspiration, if you have all of these types of experiences that are being prophesied from the beginning of the year, and you understand your shift and change and growth, and the stamina that it took, and the willingness to dedicate yourself and make a commitment on that level, do let us know. I love the things that you share on the thread. It teaches me a lot. It helps me to understand the reality of what people experience when these messages come out. So thank you so much for being here with me again. I'm sending you all my love and thanks, true gratitude coming, from this place, Spirit says, out to you, because this house is meant to be a little portal. So thanks again. Have a wonderful month. I'm going to leave you with the cards. I'll look forward to having some chat with you on the thread. Thanks so much, Aries.